segment, gaming resolution check-in. So this time we're going to talk about our resolutions and if we needed to update them or do anything with them. Maybe you will open up with you, Swinny. So you had complete 100% of achievements in the entire Assassin's Creed series, complete all single-player Final Fantasy games, and reach achievement completion total of 250 RPGs, an increase of 31 games.
Yes.
You're not going to change anything, are you?
No, why would I change anything? These are my goals. I'm not going to change my goals mid-term, especially when I'm.
I like the shade that you're like throwing preemptively.
So my Assassin's Creed, complete all achievements Assassin's Creed. So that goal was complete, got incomplete again, made it complete again, and now it's incomplete again because the latest update for Valhalla added a title update that added the mode mastery mode, and I'm working on that. And there's 2 achievements there that once I do that, I'll complete it. But then in August, when they launch the bloody next DLC, it will become incomplete again. So it's work in progress to keep that complete. That mastery mode is pretty tough. It's honestly the hardest thing to do, I think, in Valhalla. So it's giving me a good challenge. I'll say that. My next goal is complete all the single-player Final Fantasy games, the ones that I hadn't completed yet. There were 4 of them. So that's not started yet. I'd plan to start that in September. So that's kind of like... That's
on track.
Just always been... Well, it's on track to not start yet, you know. So that one... But probably the biggest one to kind of, you know, just like talk about is the reach a total of 250 completed RPGs on Xbox platforms, you know, game score and everything. And so I'm at currently 243 out of 250. So that means I've completed 24 games so far in these, I guess, first 7 months now. And I've got 7 to go. Now, 2 of those games I've already completed this year, like Valhalla I just said, and also this other game that got a title update. So they're 2 that will get recompleted. One of those is Steven Universe. We went into length talking about I have got 1 achievement left and I'm going to wait to see if they add another end game mode because I've got to reset my game to get it. One of those is Greedfall that I'm nearly done with this week. So there's 4 games there out of the 7 that pretty much will, you know, be means I've essentially got 3 left. So of those 3, I mean... There's a whole bunch of stuff, you know, like Crystal's got released. I could go back to Monster Sanctuary. So I've got a lot of time. I was planning on making one of them Final Fantasy X-2. That's part of my other goal, the Final Fantasy one. But I don't know if I'll complete all the achievements in that when I do the first playthrough, as in first run through, because it's a lot of work, that game. So I may just complete the story and then go back to it afterwards. But yeah, so pretty on track. But it is annoying that I have to keep constantly going back to like recomplete some of these games. Especially I had a goal marked off complete. It's incomplete.
I kind of hope that on the 31st of December they release like a few updates to a few of these games and then I can call out you didn't complete it. I'm sure you'll do some buffer. I guess maybe it's Assassin's Creed. If Assassin's Creed releases something on the 31st of December.
Once I've completed all those RPGs and I'm happy with how I'm going with Final Fantasy games, you know, I'll go back to completing RPGs anyway. So I'll probably end up being 255 or 260 at the end of the year anyway. So
it's more that if they do anything with Assassin's Creed, if they add anything at the last second.
That's the one.
That's going to fuck you.
But honestly, the third goal's the one, like, always been the big one for me. So.
How about you, Mike?
So what did I have? My first one was to buy less games just because they're on special. So I think I've been achieving that, but I think I took it a little too much to the extreme where I literally bought nothing new. Under the pretense that I can finally get through my backlog and it will help me deal with not buying games just because they're on special. So now I've given myself a bit of a budget based on your suggestion, integot, of about $100 a month, give or take. So if there's, you know, a game that comes out that I really want to play or something I want to review for the potty or whatever the case may be, I have the ability to do that. But I'm still sticking to the idea that I'm not going to buy games just because they're cheap and add them to my backlog. So I think I've been doing pretty well with that. I'm trying to remember in recent memory if there's anything in the last 6 odd months that I bought just because, oh, that's cheap. Don't think I have. So pretty happy with that. The other thing was to play less games in general. Kinda. I mean, I feel like, yes, less than, say, last year, but I still feel like I play too many games, if that makes sense.
Not by the sounds of this week. Like it seems like
This week was an
you've been
oddity,
keeping
though.
up with it a little bit.
Yeah, but this week's been an oddity in the sense that I haven't really had the time to play them. So I only really played one game, and not even that much on it. But I think generally speaking, I do dabble in quite a bunch of different games still. So yeah, it's been going okay. It's better than previous years. I think I've got it under control. You know what I mean? Because to me, it's been a struggle. It's always been a struggle since my, probably very late teens, where I found I couldn't find the balance with video games. I was spending way too much time on them and not enough time on stuff I really wanted to do, like my hobbies and learning new things and stuff like that. So I feel like now it's a bit more of a balance, which is good. And the last one was to publish a game, which,
How's that going?
Yeah, not too well.
No, yours is not publish a game. You're getting mixed up.
No,
Yours
mine
is
was
to
just,
make a game.
sorry, just to make a game. That's right. Sorry. Yeah, not too well, to be honest. Yeah. I dabbled with Game Maker, gave that up. Game Builder Garage.
Yeah.
Well, Game Builder Garage.
Yeah.
I still find for some reason when I played around with Game Maker, I just enjoyed it more. And I don't know if that's because it felt like it had unlimited possibilities almost, whereas with the Game Builder, you could do a lot of different things, but you were still limited in what you could do. So you couldn't create your own models, you couldn't do a lot of different things like that, and I felt that restriction kind of put me off it a little bit, but I think I'm probably just making excuses in the end. So I will probably revise Game Maker, which I bought when integot suggested it when it was on sale, and try to get something out on that, even if it's just like some, I don't know, side-scrolling bloody spaceship shooting thing that seems doable.
It sounds like you're just talking about the tutorial that it comes with.
Something like that, yeah.
Would that meet if he finishes the tutorial, would that meet the criteria?
Well, his one is so none of them are, I don't want to go on about it, but none of them are specific, measurable, actionable, timely. Like they're all loose, Like at least yours, Swinny, are like very specific. Like,
yeah,
you can easily tell if it's like green or red. With Mike's, it's like, it's all debatable. For mine, I've already failed mine, like the first one, play Ring Fit every day. I haven't because I got sick. And then I did get sick and I had to stop playing it, but I'm not sick now and I'm not playing it. So I feel like I need to just revise this to a minimum of like, I need to complete the story because there's actually a story in the game. It's kind of a wacky game in that way. And I might try to make it more reasonable, which is like play it every other day or something like that, because every day becomes a huge grind. Complete the Dirty Dozen. I haven't played many of these games. I've started a bit of them. I do need to actually play a lot of them. I won't count them all out right now, but probably The Witcher is going to screw me over the most, just because I feel like if I start playing that game, I'll probably get into it, and then it is like a 100-hour game. So that would just consume like 3 months of my time.
At least two of these games are also Game of Some Other Year.
I was going to say, yeah. Games, so
they are conveniently. And yeah, Mass Effect, I'm still playing that. You look like I've got a lot of them on the Switch, whatever I could get on the Switch. And then Resident Evil 4, I'm holding off now because I want to see if that comes out on the Oculus Quest this year. So I'll play it that way and then talk about it on the show because I thought that'd be a cool way to do it. So yeah, I mean, like that's definitely a hard amber, trending red at the moment. And then the last one, to publish a game. Now this one's a tricky one because like I've completed this in a dodgy way with the publishing of the Game Maker a Game Builder game that people have downloaded and played and commented on. But I do want to make a game for the Playdate. So, and that one, like, I don't know how it's going to work though, the publishing part. Would you consider it published if it's like a homebrew game that I've put out there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think if it's something online that someone can install on their machine if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I think that's much closer than Game Builder Garage, honestly. But even then, like, these are our own goals. If we feel that we've met the criteria, then like honestly it's a personal thing. you know. So I know we did the quarterly review last time and things like that, but ultimately this was stuff that just we wanted to personally achieve, you know.
Yeah.
So if we feel happy with what we've done, then just do you feel happy, Integot?
Yeah, and I think the good thing about the Playdate is, you know, it's only black and white. So you know, you're so hard constrained, and it's a 400 by 240 resolution. So like everything about it is like super constrained, but that's actually really good for me because it just means I can't spend shitload of time on graphics because it's like there's only so much you can do with it. And it's not
No, sorry, I was going to say I do think the Jason Statham idea could work, but I was thinking you can't use the word Jason Statham where you use the crank to keep him alive. You got to call him like Stason Jatham.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yes.
Yeah, like what was it, Phoenix Wright style? I actually think that's not a bad idea. So I'll let people in on it. Like people can copy it if they want. I don't care. So there's a movie from 2006 that we all love called Crank. And the whole idea there is he's been poisoned. And the only way for the poison not to kill him is that he has to keep his adrenaline up. And keeping his adrenaline up, he like does crazy shit. He has sex with his girlfriend in public. He does all this other kind of crazy stuff just so he's pumped all the way through the movie. So I thought, because, you know, you guys, helpfully, I asked, can you come up with an idea? You two are creative people. Come up with an idea of like, you know, what kind of games I could use the Crank. And then all you said was the movie Crank. So that was really helpful.
Brilliant, though. It's perfect.
But I did think,
Well done, Swinny.
actually, like the idea of you have to continuously crank the crank to stay alive in the game. Like that's kind of a funny, weird concept. So I'm trying to play that out and see how that could actually work.
And you could see like it's probably already been told. Oh, I'm frozen.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, it took an hour to happen. But I'll just say my last point was you could see like a little heart meter that's like, you know, gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you got to crank it back up to come back. So.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking like you have to keep moving. So it's kind of like, you know, it's not like constant, but if you stop moving for a few seconds, you're going to die or whatever. So you need to keep doing stuff. I don't know. I got to think about how it would actually work. But yeah, but I don't know that, or I was just thinking something simple, which is like, you know, like having concentric circles or something, and you have to like crank it around and then like press up or down to hit on the outside or the inside, like an arcadey kind of game. Yeah, I'm playing around. I just want to make something where it's like genuinely you go, I couldn't play this as well as if I had the crank. Like the crank is the optimal way to play it. So like for me, you know, like the Wii Play games and all that kind of stuff, Wii Play Resort, like they're the best ways to play those games. Like people who play it on a controller, it makes no sense, right? Like you have to play it with the Wiimote. So
like Skyward Sword.
That's a bad implementation of that, in my view. That's it from me. Was there anything else you guys wanted to cover on the gaming resolution check-in?
I'll just say it's been fun. Like I really like this idea. I like that it's something we can check in every quarter on, and you know, over time, just talk about how we're working towards it. As you've kind of given me crap, it doesn't really change anything about what I actually do in the past. It's more just what I used to do anyway, just like quantifiable in podcast form. But it's been fun. I really, really enjoy it. So.
If I gave notes to the three of us, I'd say the notes for you would be try to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. I'd say for Mike, be a bit more specific, and for me, be less ambitious. Be less ambitious. I always go too hard with things. But yeah, no, I think it's actually been a lot of fun. Anything else you wanted to add, Mike?
No.
All right, cool. All right, well,